Yes, welcome back to NB Learning. You're watching my channel. Kindly subscribe my channel for more technical videos. Today our topic is reasons of RPM variation in gas engine. We will discuss that what are the reasons of RPM variation in engines and what are their remedies. So start our video. First of all, RPM variation reason is that if your engine is from a long time out of service and you have started it for a long time, then it will sometime not started and you will face the trouble in startup. And if you have started the engine, then it may causes the variation. So to rectify this issue, you may clean the spark plug before startup. It is a good strategy because your engine is stop, and due to humidity in the air and due to moisture in the air and due to weather condition, sometimes weather is cold and humidity is more in your air. When this humid air or low temperature fuel or low temperature air goes inside the combustion chamber, and in the combustion chamber there is a spark plug, and on the spark plug spark plug become moisturized, due to which it cannot fire properly. So that's why it will cause the variation in RPM. And sometimes your fuel quality become poor, and the BTU of the fuel become less than the required power. So it will cause the variation in the engine. Means that fuel quality is very crucial thing. If your fuel is of low grade, of low quality, and moisture in the fuel is increased, then you will face the RPM variation issue. So rectify issue to this issue, you can insulate the gas lines, or become it is steam traced, so that the fuel become hot and the moisture in this fuel become hot enough to burn easily. You can also check the ignition circuit. You can also check for your ignition module that ignition timing is correct or not. And you can also check the spark plug. If your spark plug is worn out, or your spark plug is short, or your ignition lead is faulty, or your ignition coil is faulty, you can see the trends of a engine exhaust cylinder, that which exhaust cylinder have the temperature variation, and you must counter it, that why this variation comes in this spark plug, which ultimately cause the variation in RPM. One thing is very important, that RPM variation main cause is the life of spark plug. Because the spark plug life was not too long, they when they reach to their end of life, then they spark very low, and it will cause the variation in the RPM. So you must keep an eye on the spark plug reference number, that when this reference number reach to end of life, then you may preventively replace this spark plug, as well as your engine generate alarm as level 1, level 2, and level 3 of spark plug. And you must replace the spark plug at a level when your spark plug is close to the end of life. You can also check for the air circuit, air filter. You must check air filter, that might their air your air filter might be choked, or your turbocharger is might not function properly. Inspect the turbocharger for any damage. And also check your booster pressure sensor, manifold temperature sensor, and manifold pressure sensor, that if there's any variation in this sensors, and any fault in turbocharger may cause the variation in RPM. And you can also go for check to your fuel circuit, check your all isolations of valves, and check your regulators, that they are regulating the pressure fine or not. And you can also You can also check your stepper motor, your main fuel regulator, and you can also go for, if your engine is lean burn engine, then you must check the pre-chamber circuit. In pre-chamber circuit, you must check pre-chamber regulator, pre-chamber SOV, admission valve, and all the things which play a part in the fuel circuit. You must check it for any abnormality. Sometimes due to the rpm variation, our system log the wrong learning map is a thing that is by default is vendor, it is given by vendor, on which our engine runs. And map is basically of your throttle reserve, and it is related to your wastegate, and it is related to your air bypass. Learning map is compromised of these three actuators and their ideal positions. When problem occur in your engines, and due to a long time our engine run on rpm variation, then learning map become wrong, and learning map record the wrong values. And if you rectify the issue, then still the engine learn the wrong map and will cause the rpm variation. So in a rare cases, you must have to reset your learning map to rectify the rpm variation issue. And you can also check for your NOx system. Your NOx sensor, might be your NOx sensor is faulty and giving wrong values of NOx to your system, and your system is manipulating according to a NOx sensor. So that's why you must check your NOx control module, NOx sensor, and you must check the stepper motor position, that your stepper motor position is not very low or not very high. Because if your stepper motor position is very low or very high, then it will also cause the rpm variation due to improper air fuel ratio. You can also go for to check your speed system, in which your speed system, your speed probes are crucial. Your speed probe will be healthy, their gap, this speed probe gap will be well enough, good enough to detect the rpm. And you can also check your hall effect sensor, which will on the camshaft. And the purpose of the hall effect sensor is to become an accurate firing in the cylinder. And you must check that your hall effect sensor must be healthy. You must check your engine for any knocking condition. If your engine have knocking, or in any cylinder there is a high knocking, this will also cause the improper combustion of the fuel, and ultimately cause the rpm variation. And you must also check that your exhaust line, exhaust manifold, and your muffler will be healthy, and the flow rates of exhaust gases will be normal. If your exhaust gas not goes out frequently, so it will create a resistance to the incoming flue gases, and which will also cause the rpm variation or improper burning of the fuel. You can also check for the ignition module jigs. Sometimes the carbon comes on the jigs, and due to carbon your ignition become not enough, and your spark may not jump. So that's why it will cause the rpm variation. You must check your ignition coil must be healthy, and their connection will be fine. So guys, this was some reasons of RPM variation in gas engine, especially related to Waukesha 275 GL plus. So see you in the next video.